This is the Russian dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the bubblegum princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
This is the divine liberator, Miss Kiki Van Gogh, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the divine liberator, Miss Kiki Van Gogh.
Hi.
How are you today?
I love the introduction.
Yes, we do it. We like to do it big here on Wrestling With. How are you today, Miss Kiki?
I'm doing well. Fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm good as well. Can you tell us where the Divine Liberator will be liberating us next event-wise?
Of course. So right now you can find me. I wrestle with House of Glory in New York. And you can find me on Instagram at Kiki Van Gogh and on Facebook as well, Kiki Van Gogh. And I'm coming out with some great merchandise next year, so keep a lookout for that as well.
And will there be a website like Pro Wrestling Tees, or should people just message you directly?
So you can find it on my Instagram page. If you message me directly, you'll get it from there.
Perfect. And you don't even have to go looking for it. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get into it. You mentioned it. You work for House of Glory. Could you tell us about your relationship with the company?
Yes, of course. So I started as a student with House of Glory. I think it's now 5 years with House of Glory. And I love it there. It's amazing. Literally, Amazing Red is the head trainer there. He is fantastic. I mean, really one of the nicest and hardworking people, wrestlers out there. And he really pushes all of his students, and he is one of those trainers that really pushes you to be your best self. And even when you're having a bad day, there's he always says, leave that outside, leave it at the door. When you come into training, you're here to work. And then when you go back outside, you can go back and deal with everything else that you're dealing with in the world. But, once you step inside House of Glory, it's time to train and focus.
Hell yeah. Amazing Red. That's a name we haven't heard for quite some time. Well, I haven't. But definitely an underappreciated name in pro wrestling, I'd say.
100%. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. Literally, it's in the name.
Yes.
I mean, you won't find I think a hard worker like him out there. He literally breeds wrestling.
Oh, for sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you debuted in 2018 and wrestled through 2019. But 2020 and 2021, you actually took a hiatus from pro wrestling. You returned in June of 2022, correct?
June 2022. What was that match in June 2022?
I don't have the specific match. I just you returned to pro wrestling in June of 2022.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to go back and remember remember what happened. And I'm like 2022. That was so long ago in my mind. Yeah. So I was also like going to school, and sometimes when you do like school and wrestling, it's a lot to balance.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to get the degree and everything. So just had to take a little break.
Okay.
From wrestling, but I'm always here wrestling. It's something that is really in my heart, and even if like I take a little break from it, wrestling is just always in there. I'm just always like, I need to get back. When I'm finished with dealing with, life and school and work, I need to get back in the ring. You can talk to like so many wrestlers that people are always like, yeah, like I'm gonna retire from wrestling. People say that, and then they actually never retire. How many times have we seen that happen?
Oh yeah. I mean, Ric Flair's is like on his 16th.
It's a good addiction, huh?
Ric Flair's like on his 16th.
I know, exactly. He's like, I'm retiring now. And then like a year later, he's back.
Oh yeah.
A couple months later, he's back,
So there was no mistaking you coming back to pro wrestling. It was just you had to do school and then focus back on pro wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how like I operate. I know like everyone is different, but for me, like I need to be like really full force into like one thing because I get distracted very easily, unfortunately. So yeah, that was just for me.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of your first matches was against Anastasia Morningstar and Karen Bam Bam, no?
Yeah, wow, that's so long ago. It was actually Anastasia Morningstar. That was my first match. I think it happened that same year, and then we did a tag with Anastasia and Karen Bam Bam. Yes. So the first one was Anastasia Morningstar, and that was back at BWF when I kind of like first started off, and I was trying to find like a footing in wrestling or in like a good place to train. And the BWF has some really, really great people there. It was run by Bronco International. I don't know if you've heard that name.
I believe so,
before. Yeah, but he was a head trainer there. Really great guy. I really appreciated, everything that Bronco like gave me, and he really gave me that first opportunity doing my first match there at BWF. So I really appreciate him for that, and a lot of folks there at BWF that have really helped me. Yeah.
And I mean, Anastasia, Karen, two, well-known, well-respected names in pro wrestling. What was it like stepping in the ring with them?
It was really great stepping into them because we trained a little bit before, so I was familiar with both of their styles of wrestling. Anastasia, she's a very like hard hitter, wrestling doesn't hold back. Karen Bam Bam is the same way, so it was really great having that be one of my first matches with ladies that I've trained with. Ladies that know we're not going to hold back on each other and, that we're going to give it our all. So that's always fantastic.
Now, coming back into pro wrestling, you wrestled A1 Becca. Obviously Becca, a big name right now, and you actually got the W on her.
I did.
What was that experience like wrestling Becca?
So that was my House of Glory debut match, actually. And I remember really, it's nervous for sure because House of Glory, it's, the biggest promotion in New York. And you don't want to disappoint your trainer. You don't want to disappoint yourself. Becca was coming in and she, travels a lot and she's a big name. So there was that added pressure on it as well. But I mean, once your music hits and you step out there, everything kind of fades away. And it's just like you and your opponent in the ring. And yeah, it was just fantastic. And having my first win be, at my home base, at my school, it was, nothing beats that feeling.
Was that a moment you took in the moment, or is that something that kind of sets in afterwards? Like, wow, I did that.
It definitely sets in afterwards. No matter how like long a match is, it feels very short in the moment. So I don't know. It's really, you're doing like one thing, the next thing, and then like the bell rings and then it's over. And I'm just like, wow, that happened and that went well. and then after, then you get a chance to like sit back, take it in. You're like, okay, I could have done better here. I could have done this a little bit differently. Was the crowd really behind me when I needed them to be behind me? Were they not behind me when they weren't supposed to be? So you're thinking about all those things after, but it's definitely something, I don't think you really grasp the full, what am I trying to say? I don't think you really grasp the
full moment.
Yeah, the full moment. Thank you. Until after, definitely, for sure. Even like the day after too, you're still processing everything and looking over your match again, and it's a whole long process for sure.
And you mentioned you're actually, gauging the crowd and their reaction to what you're doing as well.
Mm-hmm. That's like the most important thing, about pro wrestling. You can be a great wrestler, but if you don't have, the crowd behind you, then everything that you're doing kind of doesn't really matter, because you want the crowd to remember you. You want to engage the crowd. They're there to see you, right? They're there to see something that they've never seen before, and they want to be a part of that experience. They want to feel what I'm feeling during the match. I'm down right now and I'm trying to fight back up. They want to cheer me on, right? I want them to cheer me on and be like, yeah, fight back, Kiki, let's go. When I'm doing well, I want them to be cheering like, yes, Kiki, awesome, keep on doing it, beat her. That's the kind of reaction you really want from the crowd, because if they're engaged, then they're gonna remember your name, right? And you want to be remembered.
Absolutely. And, that's not something you hear, independent pro wrestlers talk about nowadays. Is that something that, your trainer taught you, or is that something you kind of was gauging on your own?
Absolutely. That's something that our trainer has taught me for sure. And then when you're out there as well, if you hear like, that lull in the crowd, you're just like, that's not a good sign. It's really important, for the fans to enjoy you and be behind you. And, one of the most important things that we work on in training is like, we work on promos, we work on, you want to be bigger than life in the ring, and you want to make sure that the audience is engaged and that they're behind you. And, Red really like drills that into us. You just don't want to like go out there and wrestle and you're only focusing on your opponent. You need to focus on the crowd. That's a big part about it. And I think a lot of, you say you don't hear that often, and I think a lot of I do feel like a lot of independent wrestlers are aware of that, especially in smaller venues. But sometimes I think because you're thinking about so many things in your mind at once, that thinking about the crowd and having them be engaged in your match can kind of like fall to the back.
Right. Well, you actually, keeping up on Becca, there is her Squatchy Squad teammate, or she used to be anyway, back in the day. You wrestled Little Mean Kathleen for the Remarkable Women's title. Can you tell us about that match?
That match, it was a really great match with Little Mean Kathleen. She's a tough opponent, and we had a really good back and forth exchange, and unfortunately she did get the win over me. But Little Myth Kathleen, I'm waiting for a rematch whenever she is.
Oh yeah, won it back with MLK.
Exactly.
All right. Now can you tell us about the Black Hand of House of Glory? Your teammates Bruce Teal Sims and Michael Fain.
Yes, absolutely. So the Black Hand faction, we're not just about black crowd or like a black audience, but what we represent is diversity and also wanting to be seen, in the wrestling promotion, and about the people that don't have a voice, and also if you see there's a lot more now, but before there was not really a lot of minority wrestlers. And growing up, I remember watching wrestling on TV, and I'm like, I want to do that, but I also want to show that there is a space for minority wrestlers, and minority wrestlers that can go far in this business as well. So that's the one thing that we are representing, just wanting to be seen, and wanting to have a voice and have an opportunity to show that we are just as good as everybody else. And I know that Michael Fain is definitely doing that. He recently won a championship, so I'm really proud of, my Black Hand brother for sure.
Oh yeah. Now, can you tell us a pet peeve about Bruce and Michael that you just don't understand?
A pet peeve? There's no pet peeves with my brothers. Nothing. We're a united front. There's nothing wrong with either of them.
Okay.
I can never talk bad about them.
Fair enough. Now, one of your bigger matches that you've had was against Steph DeLando, former WWE alumni. What was that match like in that experience?
With Steph DeLander. So yes, that match, one of the things that I remember is leaving with a big knot on my forehead. So yes, one ouch. But I'm not a very tall person, and Steph DeLander, she is a very tall wrestler. So that as well, like being in her presence, it was a little, I don't want to say intimidating, but I would say I was like, wow, she's a very tall person. And I think also because I'm not as tall, I'm a very short person, people don't realize exactly how strong I am. So during that match, when I picked her up for Power Slam, I don't think she was fully, ready to grasp my full powers. But yes, I'm a very strong wrestler, and I think she got to see that in that match, even though I did not get the win. But I would love to wrestle her again. It was really great getting to wrestle a name like hers, a big name like her, for sure.
Oh yeah, I believe I've seen you hold two people on your shoulders before, no?
Yes, the Ultraviolet, who has been ducking me for forever because she's scared to face me one-on-one, and Diamond Viraga, her little protege. Yes, I picked them both up. So, where else are you going to see that? And carry them to the center of the ring,
Is that something like 100% I can carry both of these girls?
Oh, 100%. I knew it without a doubt that I was able to do it because I'm very strong. I'm a powerhouse, and I wanted to give the audience to something that they haven't seen from House of Glory yet, something they haven't seen from a female wrestler, to be more specific, at House of Glory, someone that is just all about power. So I knew in that moment, I was like, oh, I can do this easily. And it showed easily.
Well, you mentioned it, Ultraviolet. Why does he keep ducking you?
Because she's afraid of me. That, honestly, that's the only answer. She realizes how strong I am. She sees that the crowd is always behind me too, and she's afraid to wrestle me. She's afraid that I'm gonna show her who she really is, and that, you know, and I did get the win on her in that match too, and she doesn't want that to happen again.
She's trying to delay the inevitable.
Exactly. You know, you put it so perfectly. she's trying to delay the inevitable.
Well, somebody that could not deny the inevitable was Layla Gray. You got the W, but it was by DQ, no?
Yes, it was.
Can you tell
Definitely.
us about that
For
match,
sure.
Wrestling
And
Layla?
I was not happy about that at all, you know, and Layla Gray, definitely want to work with her again. She was really a good person to work with, but, you know, another one that underestimates the strength of Kiki Van Gogh.
Seems like there's a lot of scores you need to settle.
I do have a lot of, thank you. I do have a lot of scores that I need to settle. First score that I plan on settling though is definitely with Diamond, Violet's little protege or her little follower. She wrestles at House of Glory as well. And we also have kind of like our underground show called LPW, and I wrestle. Well, she came out in my last match to try to distract me, and then she ruined the win for me. So Diamond is another one that definitely coming after her next.
So Ultraviolet's putting her little buddy in front of her to, prevent damage for right now.
Exactly. She has her little follower going first, you know, but once I defeat Diamond easily, it's not even going to be a struggle for me. Then I'm going to be coming after Ultraviolet.
It seems like you have the plan all settled already.
I already have my plan all settled. You're right. It's Diamond and Violet, one right after the other.
And then maybe when Layla Gray comes around, we'll settle that as well.
Exactly. When she comes back around, I would love to settle that as well.
All right. I believe it's a good time to transition to Kiki's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
A road story that fits the bizarre thing happening. I'm trying to think. There hasn't been anything too crazy. I mean, like one time, let me just see. One time after, this isn't too crazy, but one time after a match at Bell to Bell that I had, literally my bus that I had to catch back to New York was
Review?
yes, of course, and a 5-star review for sure.
definitely an eventful trip. But I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely an eventful trip for sure. But I haven't had anything like too crazy or bizarre happening. It's mostly, the time it takes to get to one place to another. One time I had to take like a 2-hour train ride to wrestle at Remarkable Wrestling, so that was fun.
just out of curiosity, do you have your driver's license?
I do not have my driver's license, which is the worst thing that you can do as a wrestler is not have a driver's license. So it's really, busing it and training it and getting a ride from other people kind of life that I'm living. Listen, taking the driving test is just so, once I failed like parallel parking, I was like, well, that's it. I can't. It was one of the most embarrassing moments ever because it happened in front of everyone else that was waiting to do the parallel parking of the exam, and I backed up and I hit the cone immediately, and the driver was like, just pull out. And I was like, no problem, sir, I'll pull out, test is done. I don't know if you have your license, but parallel parking is really hard. Okay.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but parallel parking wasn't that hard for me.
Wow. Are you trying to say that you're better than Kiki? Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely not. No, I would never say that.
I don't want to have to show you that I'm better than you.
No.
Okay? I don't want to have to embarrass you on the podcast. I'm just joking.
I do not need that question answered.
Well, parallel parking was so hard for me, and everyone I talk to too is hard for them as well. But you're just one of the lucky ones.
Well, I live in California, so you kind of have to learn how. The cars are like a second body in this state, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a city girl. I don't need a car.
Right.
I can bike there. I could take the train there. I could walk there. Wherever I need to go.
Right. That's why I asked about the driver's license, because it does seem like that's an issue for wrestlers from New York, because clearly, obviously there's so many modes of transportation.
It is a New York thing. That's so funny. Yeah, a lot of the New York wrestlers don't have license. We're just so used to the easy life.
So it seems like if Kiki wants to get some outside booking, she's going to have to get that driver's license.
I know. If there's no ride, I'm just going to have to suck it up, and do it again.
Another score you need to settle.
I know, right? Another score I have to settle with parallel parking. It's on the list now.
Now, here at Wrestling Wit, we like to say everybody is nerdy about something. Everybody geeks out, fanboys, fangirls about something. What does Kiki geek out for?
In anything? Does it have to be in relation to wrestling?
Anything.
Anything. Okay. Kiki geeks out to Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
Like, you have no idea how my level of Lord of the Rings love and geekiness and just obsession. It's really an obsession. I have Lord of the Rings everything in my room, and I can watch the movies over and over. I've read the books so many times. I'm just obsessed. If you know me, you know Lord of the Rings is something that I love.
Do you have the extended version of the movie on DVD?
Of course. Absolutely. What kind of question? Absolutely. All 3 of them. And I'll watch all 18 hours back to back. Okay? And be really happy. 1 year my mom even made me, 2 years actually, she made me Lord of the Rings birthday cake. The first one was the One Ring. And then the second one was the Hobbit home, Bilbo Baggins' home. And
the Shire.
It's in the Shire. It's my absolute favorite cake ever. I mean, beautiful birthday cake that my mom made for me. I'm going to share a picture with you just so that you can see it after we're finished with the podcast. I mean, fantastic.
Sweet.
Yes, and then this year, I don't know what, but I was like, I want something again, Lord of the Rings. I have like Lord of the Ring tattoos too, so I'm obsessed. That's my nerd thing. That's what I geek out to. I just finished going to Comic-Con too this year, and Orlando Bloom was one of the guests there, so of course I was happy.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
My little heart.
Which one is your favorite?
The Two Towers, my absolute favorite. I know a lot of people love Return of the King, but I love the fight scenes and the battle scenes in the Two Towers. It's just so amazing. And back then, too, when they made that movie, like CGI was a thing, but it was not such a big thing as it is now. So when you rewatch those movies, you're just like, I feel like it's even better because you're like, wow, look at all the people, though, that they got, like all of the people that they got to be the orcs, in the battle scene. And then like the men and the riders of Rohan, like those are people. They're not CGI,
Which definitely makes it a lot better.
For sure. It makes it so much better.
I mean, I do feel like we use CGI as a crutch too much in movies nowadays.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, and it takes away from like the energy from a scene, and the intensity, because those scenes are so, with all the actors that they get, I feel like it just brings the scene to life more.
Oh yeah. Favorite character.
Favorite character. Okay, I mean, obviously Sam. Sam carried the whole movie, on his back. Okay, he literally carried Frodo on his back.
Yes.
Without Sam, it'd be nothing. It'd be lost. I love his dedication to his friend. That's Sam is a real ride or die type of friend, and he's my favorite character. I have a little Sam doll in my room. And of course, Aragorn too. He's always whenever there's a fight scene, everyone is like Legolas, he's perfect because he's the elf, he's all clean. Aragorn just looks like he's been doing the whole battle himself. he is always dirty, nails dirty, hair dirty. He looks like he's been through the ringer.
Even when he's not fighting.
I know, even when he's not fighting, he just always looks like he's been through it.
And Legolas, not a hair out of place.
I know, he's just so perfect. Nothing out of place. I love it.
You mentioned having a big collection. What is your most expensive or most prized possession you have?
Ooh, okay. So I have Aragorn's sword, actually.
Ooh.
I have yet to hang it up because I just don't know where to put it. But yeah, I have Andril, Flame of the West, in my room. Heavy, real life size sword.
Like legit steel?
I don't know if it's. I think it is legit steel. It was a gift. I'm pretty sure it's legit steel because it is heavy.
Okay.
So yes, I have that in the corner of my room, just standing up with a Lord of the Rings One Ring plushie wrapped around it.
Awesome.
So yes, I didn't spend money on it, but it is the most expensive thing that I have. Because it was a gift. But yes, I know for sure that was very expensive. I was told the cost of it after. I was like, oh my gosh.
And is there something that you have your eye on that you want in your collection, like a Holy Grail type item?
I really want Eowyn's necklace. the one that she gives to Aragon. I'm like a sucker for like love, and so that was one of like the biggest gestures for me when she gives the necklace to Aragon. You know, it's just like, it's mine to give to whomever I want. I love that scene.
All right. And I do have to ask, have you seen the, I believe it's called Power of the Rings on Amazon?
Yes, I have seen it. I'm a little behind with the new season. I think I've watched like three episodes, but yes, I've seen it. And I know it's getting a bad rap. However, I am not on the bad rap team.
That's interesting, because other Lord of the Rings fans that I've spoken to, they were like, it's okay, it's not canon, but it's okay.
No, and it's not, but I think it did take me a few times to get past like the first 3 episodes. But then once you get past the first 3 episodes, I feel like they really do a good job, I think, to bring in people that are not fans of Lord of the Rings. So that's what I appreciate about the show. I think they're trying to, attract not like the obsessive people audience, but everyone. So I think that's what I really like about the show.
You gotta appeal to the diehards first, clearly.
Right? Clearly.
Yeah. That's why Marvel is suffering right now.
Oh yeah, right. I don't even know what's going on with Marvel.
I wish I didn't know. There is a new anime Lord of the Rings movie coming out in December. I'm assuming you're going to see that as well, no?
Of course, I'm gonna go see that as well.
All right.
It's not even a question. I'm always like, oh, I wish they would, like, Peter Jackson would make another like Lord of the Rings thing, just something.
I mean, I think he pretty much covered everything. The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings.
Still, it's just so good. You know, like when something is so good and you don't want it to end.
Yes.
That's how I feel about Lord of the Rings.
I mean, it's kind of continuing with the Power of the Rings, but
But I don't think he has like a big hand in that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell that he doesn't. But yeah, just his mind is just amazing.
I kind of look at it like the Star Wars method. Like, there's the first 3 movies and then the sequel movies, and I mean, nothing's going to be done about those movies. Nothing's going to touch them. The same is kind of be done with the Lord of the Rings as well. It's just a matter of what kind of content we get afterwards, whether it's good or it's bad.
I just want to see Andy Serkis be Gollum again.
Don't we all?
Right? He was at Comic-Con too.
Ooh, that would have been awesome.
I didn't see him, but yes.
Well, in Lord of the Rings, there are ghosts. And we have had guests that have had extraterrestrial and paranormal experiences. Have you ever had an extraterrestrial or paranormal experience?
Unfortunately, yes, I have.
Okay.
I have. Ghosts are real for 100%. I tell my friends this story all the time. I was in, like Philadelphia is like known for ghosts, right?
Yes.
So one year, my friends and I, we were going to see like another one of our friends play. So we all stayed at this Airbnb, and my friends had like stayed up, and I was tired. I had gone to bed, and in the middle of the night, the door is like slightly ajar, and I wake up, and I see something looking back, like no lie, I see something looking back at me, and then start like to stretch out towards me, and I screamed, and I put the lights on, and no one was there.
Ooh.
And I know my friends like, oh, you just like woke up and you saw that. I was like, no. I 100% saw that. And I was sleeping in that room by myself. So, and I hate scary movies. So what I did afterwards, I went into the room where all my friends were sleeping, and I made them move over on the bed, like my two best friends. I was like, move over. And I slept in the bed. And first of all, I locked the door, and then I slept in the bed. And one of my friends, he was sleeping in the living room, and he was like, wait, you just left me outside with the ghost then to die? I was like, I'm sorry. I locked the door. But I was absolutely terrified. I was like, I could not sleep by myself the rest of the night here.
That is definitely strange and unusual. Like, did you like see its form, or was it like just like a silhouette?
I swear it was like this the face, and I could see like the eyes too, kind of like it looked like white eyes, and then I could have sworn like a hand was like coming towards me too.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a.
I was so scared after that, because I'm not a fan of scary things. I hate it very much. And then after, when I came home, I'm very religious too. So after, when I came home, I like started sleeping like with the rosary on me. I was like, nothing's gonna bother me. I was like, I don't want anything coming after me.
So you must have a blast during Halloween time in October.
Okay, but I do love Halloween, so I am excited for Halloween. And even though, okay, I'm like the worst person ever. I hate scary things, but I love like going to haunted houses, knowing that I'm gonna be scared. So I'm always like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and then I get scared. I like have all this, energy before, and then as soon as it starts, I'm like, oh, why did I decide to do this?
Alright. What is Kiki's favorite Van Gogh painting?
Ooh, my favorite Van Gogh painting, Starry Night, of course. Classic one. I have the shorts with Starry Night painting on it. I have a Starry Night skirt. I have Starry Night socks. It's my favorite painting for sure. And I don't know if you know the story behind that painting as well. I feel like maybe a lot of people do know that the story behind the painting, but it's the view that he saw from his asylum room. I forgot where he was, like what's the name of the asylum, but that's the story behind the Starry Night painting. He was staying in an asylum, and that was a view that he saw from his window every night, and so he painted it.
It's with you having all of the gear, it seems like you're living the gimmick, so to speak.
I'm living the gimmick. He's very passionate, a little bit crazy. I feel like I'm a passionate person and a little bit crazy as well, but I feel like as a wrestler, you all have to be a little bit crazy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Is that kind of why you went with the Van Gogh name?
Yeah, so I studied art history.
Okay.
In school. I've always loved art. I worked at the Brooklyn Museum, and I was looking for, a good name to really complement Kiki, and I was inspired. During that period too, I was doing a lot of work in school on like impressionist art, and Van Gogh really stuck with me, especially like Van Gogh's story. And I was like, that's it. That's who I am. I'm Kiki Van Gogh. I'm part of the Van Gogh line.
Oh yeah.
I'm his like great granddaughter.
Now you also mentioned having tattoos. Is there any meaning or significance to your tattoos that you have?
So I have the Avon Star tattoo, of course, from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a mermaid tattoo as well for the Little Mermaid. Like, literally the silhouette of Ariel and the Little Mermaid.
So I'm assuming a fan of Little Mermaid as well.
Yes, I am a fan of that as well. That funny story about that is my parents saw that movie with my sister, my brother when they were younger, and they're like, if we have another girl, I really love that name, Ariel. So yes. They had another daughter and boom, gave me that name.
You're almost giving away your government name.
I know, almost. But there's more to it, so
yes.
That's why it's okay to say.
Is there any plans for new ink?
There's always plans for new ink. I do love it. It's one of those things before, I don't know if you have a tattoo, it's one of those things beforehand. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this and I'm going to get that. And then you're sitting, in the chair and it starts. You're like, okay, this isn't too bad. And then it continues and you're like, all right, it's picking up. And then you get to a point where you're just like, wow, this really hurts. So yeah, definitely that mermaid tattoo. I got to a point and I was like, ooh, this is really something else.
And I mean, you mentioned, being an art student. Is there something that you would tattoo that you have designed?
That I have designed?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything that I have designed. Because I love art history, and I grew up painting as well. But I don't think I'm that good of a drawer, to be honest. I think I'm a better painter for sure than a drawer. But there's nothing that I painted that has inspired me to get it on my body.
Fair enough. Alright, so ink possibly in the works, but painting is definitely a go.
Yes.
Alright, let's get into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
The first 3 songs. I don't know if this counts, but the composer Hans Zimmer, I love his work, his instrumentals. I don't know if you're a big fan of that, but I definitely would want Hans Zimmer to be behind the Kiki Van Gogh soundtrack.
So basically the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
So basically the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, a little bit, grabbing from Inception, some parts of the Caribbean stuff that he's done. 100%. Basically Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Gotcha.
I want it to be the Kiki soundtrack, but with more intensity behind it, a little bit of anger, passion, for sure. That's what I would tell Hans Zimmer if he could compose the music for Kiki. I was like, make it sound angry and make it sound passionate.
Okay, I gotcha. Now, is there any other songs that you'd like on your soundtrack?
Any other songs? So Power by Beyonce, that's my theme song.
Okay.
Of course, it has to be on the soundtrack as well. And I'm thinking about any other song. Right now, I just keep thinking about Hans Zimmer for some reason. Honestly, I'm like, who else would I love? Just the My Power song by Beyonce and Hans Zimmer.
Okay. I don't think you need more than that.
No, that's the most well-rounded soundtrack ever.
Very much so. Alright. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays you? And you can't say yourself because you are legally obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Who plays me? That's a really good question. You know, if Viola Davis was younger, I'd have Viola Davis play me.
I mean, CGI is a thing. We could definitely make that
She
work.
is fantastic. I don't know if you've watched a lot of her work, but she is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And she's clearly athletic because her arms are insane. She was in like Woman King and she was doing like all this like running and jumping and stuff. And I looked like at the behind the scenes of it and she was doing a lot of the work. So I would want Viola Davis to play me. For the crying scenes, for sure, she's got it down.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever watched anything with Viola Davis in it.
I believe I have, yeah.
It's so like, oh my gosh, I feel you.
Now that we have you casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you and your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
And who would play them? That's a really good question in the Kiki Van Gogh story. I would have to have one of my parents, of course. I don't know who would play them. Amazing Red would have to be in it. Amazing Red played by Amazing Red.
Yes, I will accept that.
I'm just gonna have it there.
Yep.
And one other person. Who would be the other person that would play in the Kiki Van Gogh movie? I don't know. I can't. I feel like that's so horrible that I don't know another person.
I mean, we could
I
stay
would
at the 2.
like.
We could stay at 2. That's fine.
Yeah, I think 2. 2 is really good.
Yeah. And I never knew that I wanted Amazing Red and Viola Davis in the same movie together.
Listen, that's gonna be fantastic. Okay.
You never think about these things until somebody speaks it into existence.
I'm telling you, watch. Viola Davis and Amazing Red are gonna meet one day.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because I've just said it. I put it out there.
Yes, it's out there in the world now. If it does actually happen, I'm definitely messaging you.
How crazy would that be? Like, I knew it. I'm psychic.
Yes.
Not only am I a wrestler, I'm a psychic wrestler now.
Hell yeah. It's sounding like a great movie. A blockbuster, to say the least. And you,
100%.
And you could pre-order the tickets now.
You know they're gonna sell out fast, so definitely pre-order it.
Oh yeah. On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
You know, I've only had it once before, and it wasn't that bad. But I don't know if I would do it again. Pineapple on pizza. So I'm gonna go with no. No pineapple on pizza. It wasn't bad, but I wouldn't do it again.
Okay. I mean, that speaks volumes. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Snorlax.
Hell yeah.
If I'm not like at the gym, I'm not training, you know what I'm doing? Sleeping.
Yes, I agree with this.
So Snorlax for sure. That was like the easiest question you asked me. I have like a little like Snorlax plushie too.
I need to get one of those. I've seen those before.
They had one at Comic-Con when I went, like a huge one. And I was like, oh, I wonder how much it cost. It was like $200. And I was like, ooh, that's a little steep right now.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
But it was huge. It looked so comfy. And I was like, oh, I want it.
Great. Now we love the late, great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? T-H-U-G.
T-H-U-G?
Yes.
No, I don't.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for Jill, 'cause a dog can't spell.
Yeah, when you said Jill, I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Yes. We love the late great Tracy Smothers. We're trying to keep the memory alive on the show.
Oh, I love it. I will remember that now.
Yes. Tracy's definitely worth a Google.
I'm definitely going to Google that for sure.
Now, weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll make it the best match ever. Because I know how to work the crowd, and then they're going to be so entertained by what I do to that Rock. It's going to be the best match they've ever seen, hands down.
Hell yeah. Well, just for context, there's a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. I definitely have to check that out.
I can send it to you.
Yes, please send it to me.
I will not spoil it for you, but
No,
it is
don't spoil it
definitely
for me at all.
a sight to be seen. Alright, on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, before that, definitely see myself as the Hog Women's Champion. I also want to definitely travel more. That's something I'm looking forward to next year. Traveling more, really getting out there. I feel like I'm never the type of person that has like A, B, and C. Like, this is what I need to do kind of back to back to back. I'm very like open, and things are always like changing for me. But I don't know. Hopefully in 5 years too, I've like wrestled like Willow Nightingale. I love her. One of like the people that I've watched when I first started wrestling a lot too. And Athena as well.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
fantastic. Love her stuff. They're really inspirations for me when I first started wrestling. Like current, like inspirations, you know? So I would love to wrestle those two people. Just putting it out there. Hopefully it could be a 5 year thing.
I feel like you winning the Hog Championship is maybe in the next couple months rather than the next 5 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely a 2025 thing.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt.
The traveling to different places, depending on if you can parallel park or not, can be a 5 year deal or not. I don't know. Depending on your progression.
Parallel parking is on the list. It's on the list. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Yes. I feel like that needs to be a video. We need a video diary of Kiki learning how to drive.
Like, you know what? I think you're onto something. I think I need to document this journey.
Yes, 100%.
And then once it's complete, I'll send it to you, and then you could release it on your platform. Like, we've been following this story for years.
Me and my co-host, we could do commentary for your driving skills.
And it's finally happened. Kiki's parallel parking.
Yes. It's going to be the WrestleMania event.
Yes, it will be.
And, what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler?
Oh, definitely my tag match I love with Diamond, Ultraviolet, and Kamar, who's on my side. I love it because it was a match that the first match that I did after I had come back from an injury, actually. And I was like really, I don't know if you've ever like injured yourself really badly, but you sort of like doubt yourself and your ability. And that match, I was really like, okay, this is my like comeback match, and I really hope it's going to do great. And it was everything that, I could have dreamed of it being. It was perfect.
And can we find this match on YouTube?
I believe it's on YouTube. I'm not sure. I know it's on Fight TV.
Okay.
Because it was like on, the House of Glory card show, but I'm not sure if they put it out on YouTube.
Is there anything we can find? TV. Is there anything we can find on YouTube?
Yes, for sure. That Becca match is on YouTube. One of my LPW matches for sure is on YouTube as well.
Okay. And if the tag team match is indeed on YouTube, I will find the link to it and I will put in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. I will definitely grab the match with Becca if it's on YouTube as well. I will put them both in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen them, wants to see them, wants to re-see them after this interview.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Speed round. Okay, I'm ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that was going to be the first question. How could you do that to somebody? Oh my goodness. Greatest wrestler of all time. This is such a hard question. If you don't know about Kiki, she's a very indecisive person sometimes when it comes to hard questions. Oh my gosh. Who is the greatest wrestler of all time? All right, Shawn Michaels.
Okay. Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler?
Yes.
Worst wrestler, Ultraviolet.
I will accept that answer. You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Main eventing, Athena.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Which one?
The Rising Sun.
Okay, his WWE one.
Yes.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Kayfabe is life.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Ooh, squash. I mean, can it be both? Definitely vegetable. I'm gonna go with vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
Fruit?
Yes.
I should have known.
It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Oh, gotcha.
But you are a part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more.
It does.
Yes. New Japan wrestler Tai Chi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
You know, there really isn't any appropriate length because when you're wrestling anyways, the trunks, they're just gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna slide up as far as they want whenever you're wrestling. It doesn't matter. All that movement, you know, wrestlers have the thick thighs too, so and all the muscles, the trunks are gonna do whatever trunks do.
Right.
You can keep them as long as possible. It doesn't matter. By the end of the match, they're gonna be a thong.
Alright, so it doesn't matter. The trunks will do what they want to do.
Yeah, the trunks are in control when you're wrestling.
Interesting. I think that's the first time we've gotten that answer. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I've never.
And that is the correct answer.
Oh my gosh, never.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you as well. And can you tell us once again where we can find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Kiki Van Gogh, and Facebook, also Kiki Van Gogh as well.
And merchandise is coming in soon, correct?
Yes, next year. Look out for it. I have 8x10s already, but more stuff next year.
Okay. And you don't even have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn 8x10, and when she gets merchandise, when she gets a shirt, buy a damn shirt.
Buy the damn shirt. You're right.
Oh yeah. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Kahagis. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, but on X-Dread and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say Wrestling With, you say entertainment, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For our very special guest, Kiki Van Gogh, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling With
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.